Introducing the Open Palm Podcast with host Jerome Shaw, available today on your favorite podcast platforms. The Open Palm Podcast is a positive, uplifting, motivational, and inspirational podcast. The host brings his insight and philosophy, and you can't help but gravitate towards his smile, his words, and his wisdom. Again, the podcast he hosts is titled The Open Palm Podcast. It's about inspirational messages, motivating themes, and thought-provoking ideas and topics. He'll also help you become more aware and in harmony with your own life, giving you a better understanding of your place in the world and using your skills accordingly, greeting the world with an open palm instead of a closed fist. You can find the show today on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. You can also connect with the host on Instagram at Jerome Shaw. That's JROMESHAW on Instagram. Jerome Shaw with the Open Palm Podcast. Motivation, meditation, mentality. Go listen, download, and subscribe today.
You know, we've talked on this podcast before about having a mentor, having someone who's been there and done that and got the t-shirt, right? There's an ancient proverb, and it says, a good teacher is worth more than a barrel full of books. A good teacher is worth more than a barrel full of books. Now, what does this mean to you, this quote? What it means to me is that, often, just by word of mouth, we can realize our potential. We can realize and gain so much wisdom just from listening to someone's experience. There are people who will go to retirement homes and they will have their lives forever changed just by interacting with individuals who are in older age, maybe in their late 70s, 80s, 90s, listening to the stories of people who are filled with their own failures, losses, lessons, and even regrets. Now, not all of them, have lives that they regret, but in these retirement homes, there are a majority of elderly people who can teach you about the mistakes that they made that you don't have to make. There's a Les Brown quote that I love. And the quote says that you were born for greatness, but you are not destined for greatness. And I think there's an important distinction to make, that we may have been born with gifts, talents, things that come natural to us, but we can go to the grave not using any of it, not having the vision of where we want to be in life or where we see ourselves, not having the self-esteem or self-image to even have confidence in who we are and believe in ourselves. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great. I pray and I trust that you won't be one of those individuals left in a retirement home or such in later years or somewhere on your deathbed wondering, what if I went for it? What if I had done those things? So it's wonderful to know that by word of mouth, think of back in time periods where there weren't any books. How did we realize stories, lessons, words of wisdom through words of mouth? It was orally, traditions passed down from person to person to person. Think of that. In a time period where a story was a treasure, was gold, right? A good story could have been worth more than gold. A story that could get you through the tough times, that could get you through pain, pushing past hurt, pushing past failures, pushing past any perceived limitations, a story of greatness. And someone else can give you this. Or you could give it to yourself. You can be your own mentor. You can be your own coach. You can root for yourself when no one else does. When it seems like the world is just against you, or when the world just disregards you, just looks over you, just steps over you. Step up to your own plate. Be the one on a mission and never abort mission. If you have no mentors to look up to, be that mentor for yourself. Thank you for listening, my friend. This has been Jerome Shaw on TOP, the Open Palm Podcast here in San Antonio, Texas. I pray that you received an encouraging message letting you know that having a mentor can be so important, and you can be that mentor for yourself. Never be afraid to look at yourself in the mirror and talk to yourself in the way that you would wish someone else to talk to you. Share this episode with someone who needs to hear it. If this is your first time receiving this podcast, subscribe for more inspirational messages like this. And if you'd like to support, consider opening your browser to anchor.fm/jshaw. Clicking that support button is much appreciated. Big shout out and thank you to all the wonderful supporters who contribute to the podcast, making it possible for episodes like this. Have a wonderful and blessed day or night, wherever you are, my friend. Grab the new book now out on Amazon, Finding Inner Peace by Jerome Shaw. You'll catch a link for that in the description. Be well, be healthy, be safe. Take care, my friend.